The tides have been changing in terms of what's popular in publication today, and with that, many of our beloved historical romance authors have pivoted, stopped writing entirely, or have continued to bring us the historical romances that we love. I'm really excited about today's video topic. We will be checking in with most, if not all, of our most popular historical romance authors of the day to see what they're up to now. Hi, my name's Bea. Welcome to my channel, Mama Needs to Read Romance, and bring you everything I've learned about what these authors are up to. This is the up-to-the-moment news on what our favorite historical romance authors are working on. That moment, late October of 2025. I'm going to divide this video into 4 segments. The first, historical romance authors with confirmed historical romances coming out either this year or next. Historical romance authors who have pivoted and are publishing novels in different genres. Active historical romance authors with possible novels in the works, but we need to learn more. And finally, historical romance authors who have kind of gone dark. They're inactive or on a long hiatus. We'll take a look at them as well. Let's start with books that have already come out in 2025. We have Loretta Chase's My Inconvenient Duke, which is book 3 of the Difficult Dukes series. Yes, I'm going to be looking at my computer as we go through. I cannot remember all of this at once. This is the publisher Avon HarperCollins. Vivian Loret also published the 3rd book in a series this year with This Much Is True, which is the 3rd book of the Liars Club series. This is also through Avon HarperCollins. So as this week has progressed, I keep thinking of other historical romance authors I didn't include initially, and tell me at the end who I forgot, because I'm sure I also forgot someone. You'll be seeing me in various outfits probably throughout the week because I'm just coming up with more and more people that I want to include in this video. In winter of this past year, Adriana Herrera gifted us with the 3rd book. Of course, all these are 3rd books. In Las Leonas series. This is A Tropical Rebel Gets the Duke, thanks to Canary Street Press, which is part of Harlequin. Bramble Publishers brought us Suzanne Enoch's latest work this past spring with A Duke Never Tells. Earlier this year, Julianne Long gave us a Pennyroyal Green prequel with Isaiah and Isolde. Pennyroyal Green, the series, is published through Avon, but I couldn't get a sense of whether or not the prequel was also published with that company. Manda Collins brought us A Lady's Guide to Viscounts and Vice, which I enjoyed, in spring of this year, thanks to Forever Publishing. Yet another 3rd in a series, the Scandal at the Savoy series to be exact, came to us from none other than Laura Lee Gerke with Bad Luck Bride. This one was published by Forever. Also in July, Jana McGregor published a novella, Two Ruins Make a Right. This appears to be a standalone, and I couldn't find anything on the publisher. In August, Mimi Matthews published The Governess and the Rogue, which is book 6 of the Somerset Stories series. Now, this one was published through Perfectly Proper Press. This appears to be Mimi Matthews' own publication company. Also in August, Joanna Shoup brought us The Gilded Heiress, which is a Gilded Age reimagining of the Anastasia story, mostly based on the cartoon actually, more so than the tale. I had the pleasure of getting to hear Joanna Shoup in a talk recently where she talked about the fact that they tried to make this cover look more TikTok friendly, if you will. We've got a discreet cover and it's a larger print. It's not mass market paperback. More on mass markets in this video. From what I heard, this is a spicy and fun good time, and I can't wait to read it. And in August, Erica Ridley brought us the final chapter, or book, pun intended, of the Wild Winchesters series with Jacob's book, A Waltz on the Wild Side, thanks to Forever Publishing. Also in August, and also through Forever Publishing, Bethany Bennett presented us with My Best Friend's Earl. This appears to be a standalone, but it could be the beginning of a new series. St. Martin's Press published Alexandra Vasti's Sapphic Regency romance, Ladies in Hating. And she's got another one coming out with St. Martin's in June of 26, Scandal of the Summer. I've really enjoyed Good's Guide to Misconduct series by Susanna Craig, and her latest release of this series, book 3 in fact, came out in May of 2025 thanks to Zebra Books, and it is entitled The Lady Makes Her Mark. Now, I haven't read that one yet. In September, Diana Quincy published the second book in her Sirens in Silk series, The Earl That Got Away. Now, she's also going to be publishing under another name, Diana Awad. More on that coming up. Last month also brought us a brand new series by Christina Britton, The Wimpole Widows. The Wimpole Widows Street Society, To Heist and to Hold. And this was published with Forever. In our current month of October, we have several to look forward to. Grace Burrows is using her very own imprint, Grace Burrows Publishing, to present book 4 of the Bad Air Day tales. This is The Besotted Baron. Valerie Bowman published an historical fiction novel, which many of us weren't even aware of because we were all so taken with her new rom-com. More on that in a moment. But through June 3rd Enterprises, which may be the author's own imprint, we are treated to The Wallflower's Great Escape. As I'm filming this, today is the release day for Christy Caldwell's latest, The Captain, published with Montlake, which is actually from Amazon, believe it or not. I'm a little late, but I'm currently reading this arc, and it is one of the spiciest things I've ever read, so it's already too much for me. You know me. I just adore Stacey Reed, and this year she presented us with Scandalous Desires on a Summer Morning through her own publishing company, Darken Press, which is a publisher devoted to lifting up voices of BIPOC authors. By the way, we need to talk about this cover. I didn't realize until I looked at it that I have never seen a hero with super curly hair before. Kind of fun. Megan Frampton, who I have under good authority actually pronounces her name Megan Frampton, just published her new historical romance, thanks to Avon, The Scots Seduction. Additionally, in the month of October, Karis Michaels is coming out with another third book in a series. This is Hidden Royals, the series, and the book is Claiming the Princess through, you guessed it, Avon HarperCollins Publishers. Cat Sebastian has a new historical romance coming out next month, After Hours at Dooryard Books. This one's set in the 1960s, but that's still considered historical romance. This is being published by Cat Sebastian herself. Before 2025 is over, we will get the paperback version. The ebook is already out. This is A Lady's Handbook of Espionage by Katrina Kendrick, who I really enjoy. This is coming through Aria Publishing. Let's talk about 2026 and what we know so far. Mary Balog has a book coming out in January through Berkeley Publishing, the 5th of a series, the Ravenswood novel. And the title of this one is Remember That Day. Additionally, in January, Grace Calloway is going to be giving us a new book through her own imprint, Grace Calloway Books and Media, LLC. This one, as always, is book 3 of a series. The Blackwood Legacy series at that, and the title is 3 Chances to Cherish. Sabrina Jeffries is still going strong. She's published 1 book this year and 1 coming out next year through Kensington Publishing. The first book, Hazardous to a Duke's Heart, is the first book of the Lords of Hazard series. Book 2, coming out in 2026, is Nearly a Bride. Many of our most beloved authors are going to be teaming up for a new series entitled The Busty Bodice Club, which celebrates curvy heroines. I couldn't be more excited about this series, which is going to be taking off in April, releasing books periodically throughout at least May. I believe I'm even going to have Kathy Maxwell on the channel talking more about this series, along with some of the other authors. Hopefully, they're going to tell us even more. Eliana Piers will be bringing us Curves for the Grumpy Duke. Tracy Sumner will be writing Curves for the Silver Fox Duke. Annabelle Anders will be serving us Curves for the Beastly Duke. Kerrigan Byrne will deliver Curves for the Wicked Duke. Robin DeHart will be writing Curves for the Betrothed Duke. Kathleen Ayers will bring us Curves for the Scandalous Duke. Jana McGregor will be bringing us Curves for the Secret Duke. And last but certainly not least, Kathy Maxwell herself is going to be bringing us Curves for the Rakish Duke. Sign me up right now. It's my understanding that these will be indie published works, perhaps all through Kathy Maxwell's new imprint, Kathy Maxwell Inc., or perhaps some of these authors will be publishing under their own imprints. More to come on that. Speaking of series that are going to be published independently, 2026 will bring us another season of the Rick Review. Many of you remember that from 2024, where each month delivered a brand new, super fun historical romance by a powerhouse author. The fun will kick off with Kate Bateman and her new novel, My January Duke. The rest is to be confirmed, but again, be looking for more on that coming soon. And again, they're going to have a calendar, which I will 100% buy. Eloisa James recently announced that she switched from Avon Publishing to Gallery Books and will be coming out with a brand new historical romance in May of 2026, The Last Lady B. And we cannot talk about authors switching from one publisher to another in order to find a better fit without discussing the great Catherine Levesque. This woman was a huge Highlander romance writer with a bigger publisher and then decided to start her very own imprint, which is now huge, Dragonblade Publishing. I'm going to leave the link to it in my description box. You won't believe how many incredible historical romance authors have found their home there. They feature a wide variety of historical romance and are constantly coming out with new titles. Minerva Spencer will also be publishing a book in winter of 2026 with Crooked Sixpence Press to publish book 7 of her Bellamy Sisters series, Dawntree. One of my favorite historical romance authors, Lindsay Lovis, is going to be coming out with the 3rd book in her Secret Society of Governess Spies series, Never Spar with a Viscount. It'll be brought to us from Forever Publishing, and a little more on Lindsay Lovis is coming up. Harper St. George has a book coming out through Berkeley Publishing in the spring of 2026. It's book 3, what else, of the Doves of New York series, The Dove and the Rogue. In 2026, Avon is going to be bringing us the next book in the Thunderbolt Club by Lenora Bell with book 2 of her hit series, Can't Get Enough of the Duke. So what did we learn? Berkeley, Forever, and especially Avon are major publishers who are definitely still publishing historical romances. Otherwise, it looks like many historical romance authors are relying on their own imprints to give us those historical romances that we love. Now let's move on to part 2, looking at historical romance authors that have decided to publish in a different genre. This year, Sarah MacLean served us something very new, These Summer Storms, which was a contemporary fiction book that did contain romantic elements, but was largely a family drama. I really enjoyed it. But never fear, historical romance fans, the 4th and final book in the Hell's Bells series, entitled Mastermind, is scheduled to come out in September of 2026. Fingers crossed. In very early 2025, that would be January of 2025, Amelie Howard published the first of her Starkeeper series, The Starlight Heir, which is considered to be romantasy. The second book in this series, entitled Queen of the Night Sky, comes out next March. August 26th of this past year brought 2 books by 2 historical romance authors. Eva Lee brought us The Sea Witch. It's a romantasy set on the high seas, if you hadn't figured that out, and is book 1 of her new series, Salt and Sorcery. I mentioned Kerrigan Byrne in the last segment, but here we are again. This is book 4 of her historical mystery series, A Fiona Mahoney Mystery. This is a grave gambit. Now, I haven't read any of her historical mysteries before, but I see this gentleman on the cover, which also implies to me that it is romance. So if you've read any of this series, do let us know your thoughts in the comments. This looks super cute, and I don't know how I didn't know anything about this. Amy Rose Bennett last month published the first book in her new Parasol Academy with The Nanny's Handbook to Magic and Managing Difficult Dukes. This is considered historical fantasy romance in 2026. The next book of Amy Rose Bennett's series will be coming out, The Governess's Guide to Spells and Managing Misfit Marquises. Stephanie Lawrence brought us another historical mystery just this month with The Curse of the Ill-Gotten Gains, which is book 12 of the Casebook of Barnaby Adair series. Also this month, Beverly Jenkins is bringing us the 12th book of her Blessings series, which is Calling All Blessings. This is considered to be contemporary women's fiction. Also this month, Sophie Jordan has brought us A Scar in the Bone, which is considered to be a dark fantasy romance, and is book 2 of her series Fire in the Sky. Looking ahead to 2026, Grace Burrows is going to be giving us an historical mystery. This is book 11 of the Lord Julian mysteries, and this one is titled A Gentleman Far from Home, which will be coming out in January. Also in the summer of 2025, Susan Wiggs brought us historical fiction Wayward Girls, which she believes to be her most important work to date. And a little bit more about Lindsay Lovis. She writes in a variety of genres right now. As I mentioned, Never Spar with a Viscount is an historical romance with Forever Publishing that's going to be coming out in 2026. She's going to be publishing a YA, maybe horror? It looks kind of scary. Gingerbread Bones, that's going to be coming out in June of 2026. And many of you are aware that she has her Wicked Sisters series out as well, which is paranormal romance featuring witches. Lately, Jennifer Haymore has been going by the pen name Jen Haymore, as she has been publishing YA historical romance. In fact, thanks to Entangled Publishing, we now have All Gowned Up. Many of you are aware and have already enjoyed Valerie Bowman's newest work. She released a rom-com with all the fall feels known as the Honeycrisp Orchard Inn. It was brought to you by Avon Publishers. Oh my gosh, I enjoyed it so much. Manda Collins, though continuing to publish historical romance, less than a year ago also gave us Portrait of a Nightingale, which is a Victorian mystery romance. This was only released as an ebook or audiobook. The audio was released through Tantor Media, but the ebook was published by Manda Collins herself. Another book coming out today is Gail Callan's The Daring Women of New York. This looks to be historical fiction. This one looks incredible too. It's book 2 of the Daring Women series, an epic saga that follows one family, one building from the American Revolution to the Roaring Twenties to modern day Manhattan. Sign me up. Many of us think of Highlander romances when we think of Lindsay Sands, but right now it appears that she's focusing primarily on her paranormal romances. Many of us already know which series that is, the Argenau series. Book 37 is out, having just been published by Avon in July of this year. Many of you adore Vanessa Kelly's Highlander series. Well, she has shifted to historical mysteries. The first book of her Emma Knightley Mysteries series, Murder in Highbury, came out last year and is coming out in paperback very shortly before the November release of the second book in the series, Murder at Donwell Abbey. This is given to us by Kensington Books. Julia London has a contemporary Christmas romance coming out at the end of this month, While It Was Snowing. It looks so cute. I actually have an ARC of this. It's being published through Berkeley, but Berkeley didn't give me the ARC. It was Dreamscape Media. I have the audio. I just had to say, because you guys know how much I'm still waiting for Berkeley to give me an ARC someday. It will happen. Until then, I'm just buying all their books. In November, Jennifer Ashley is bringing us something new. Now, this looks more like historical fiction with mystery and romantic elements. This is published most likely with her own imprint. It's JA/AG Publishing. It's book 1 of the Ladies of Tudor England, focusing on Elizabeth I. Looks fascinating. Remember how I said I would bring up Diana Quincy again? Well, here she is. She is writing a suspense novel through Mindy Kaling's own publishing company, Mindy's Book Studio. Diana Quincy is writing here as Diana Awad, using that last name in honor of her grandfather. This book is titled As Far as She Knew. Mary Jo Putney continues to publish historical romances, but her latest offering, which came out in March of this year, was a Regency fantasy novella that looks so good I went ahead and bought it. This video is so helpful for me as well. Beware Fairy Gifts. And this was published with Panda Max Press. So what did we learn? In large part, these historical romance authors are writing in genres so close to historical romance fans will likely still love them. And perhaps this slight pivot is what's needed in order to stay relevant in the current state of publishing. Now we come to part 3, where things are a lot less clear. Join me, won't you, as we sort of hypothesize and look to what little we know in order to see if we can figure anything out. This is where your insights will be especially helpful. If you know anything, do let us know in the comments. Julia Quinn might be the most recognizable historical romance author of today, thanks to the Bridgerton series. At present, it looks like she's only participating in re-releases and special editions of the Bridgerton series with no new works in the works. This, by the way, was published through, what else, Avon and HarperCollins. Elizabeth Hoyt gave us No Ordinary Duchess, which was book 3, of course, of the Grey Court series. This was published through Forever Publishing and the end of 2024. So it was less than a year ago, but I haven't been able to find anything else on her website, on her Instagram, Amazon, that tells us of anything new in the works for her. Amelia Gray supposedly has a book coming out in 2026 called How to Tame a Savage Duke, although it's very difficult to find any information on it at all. Lorraine Heath brought us The Tempest of Desire in 2024, which is book 5 of the Scandalous Gentleman of St. James series, thanks to Avon Publishing. Now, illness has set her back somewhat. She has something that was scheduled to come out in November of 2025, book 6 of the Scandalous Gentleman of St. James, which is entitled A Midnight Proposal. Hopefully we'll be seeing it soon in 2026. Anna Harrington appears to be taking a break. We haven't really seen anything new from her since 2023, which brought us 2 books, Twice Upon a Midnight and A Match Made in Heather. It appears that Hannah Howell is also taking a much-deserved break. Just looking at her 22-novel series, The Murrays. I mean, that's a lot of books right there, and yet many of them are being reissued, such as Highland Bride, which just came out last month. I'm not certain what Maya Banks is up to either. She used to write Highlander romance, which many of you know and love very dearly. More recently, she's focused on her KGI series through Berkeley Publishing. Book 11 came out in 2017, and book 12 is expected, but we don't know when. Maya Rodale doesn't appear to be publishing anything soon or recently, but she is quite active online and has a newsletter in which she details all of her research on women's history. There are so many books to love by Erin Langston. Well, I guess 4 technically, but they're all very much beloved. I asked her personally if she was planning anything else, and she said that whenever a story came to her, she would go ahead and write it and then publish it. So here's to hoping that she gets inspired and writes us another one. Elizabeth Boyle may also be on a bit of a break. She's actually still riding high off the sales of Oh Little Town of Bethlehem, which is a contemporary mashup of Gilmore Girls and It's a Wonderful Life. It's supposed to be magical and all kinds of fun. Anne Gracie is still appearing at events, but we haven't seen anything from her since book 4 of her Brides of Bel Air Gardens romance series, The Secret Daughter, which was published in December of 2024, which is less than a year ago. So hopefully there will still be more by the fabulous Anne Gracie. And now for the murkiest of the murky, the 4th segment of this video, in which we talk about authors who we know little to nothing about in terms of what they're up to right now, writing-wise. Everyone is waiting for the 4th book of the Girl Meets Duke series, The Bride Bet. As it stands, Tessa Dare has no plans to publish the 4th novel. Lisa Kleypas published a new version of the first book of the Bow Street Runners series, Someone to Watch Over Me, in August of 2024, which it seems like not as many people know about. I have not heard amazing things, but I still want to read it. Other than that, it doesn't look like there's anything in the works for the beloved Lisa Kleypas. Now, in 2023, Catherine Ash brought us I Adored a Lord, which is part of the Prince Catcher series through Avon. And as it stands, we don't see anything coming up in the works for this author. Though Victoria Alexander is still around, it does appear that she's undergoing a hiatus. The last work that she hints at is part of a series written with other historical romance authors. The series is entitled The Legend of Nimue Hall, and her offering is 1888 Alexandria. Now, I couldn't find this online, so I'm not sure if it was ever published or not, but this would have been in roughly 2018, so it's been a while. Anna Bennett seems to be on a break right now. Her last work, which I really enjoyed, was It Takes a Rake, published in 2024 through St. Martin's Press. And the following authors haven't really given us anything in quite some time, and it doesn't appear that they plan to, based on what I saw online. Liz Carlisle, Karen Ranney, Samantha James, and Galen Foley. And I have to say, as I did all of this research, I feel like the state of historical romance and our beloved historical romance authors isn't nearly as bleak as I thought. It's really heartwarming to see. Now, we'll see what happens next year as mass market paperbacks are largely taken out of the equation. Well, that's what I found. I intentionally left out fabulous authors such as Lauren Smith, Florence A. Bliss, Scarlett Scott, just to name a few. Many of those I consider to be independent authors. Now, if you would be interested in hearing more about independent historical romance authors and what they're up to, do let me know in the comments. We can do a whole separate video on indie historical romance authors. I think that'd be fun, actually. And of course, let me know any other thoughts you have for future research-based videos that I can bring you. Or you can just leave me an emoji or emojis that say historical romance to you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying whatever it is you're reading, whether it's written by a powerhouse historical romance author or not. Until next time, thanks so much. Take care. Bye.